Okay, so today I'm going to read the Constitution of Afghanistan that was established in 2004. So let's start with the Preamble. Preamble. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Praise be to Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of worlds, and praise and peace be upon Muhammad, his last messenger, and his disciples and followers. We, the people of Afghanistan, believing firmly in Almighty God, relying on his divine will and adhering to the holy religion of Islam. Realizing the previous injustices, miseries, and innumerable disasters which have befallen our country. Appreciating the sacrifices, historical struggles, jihad, and just resistance of all the peoples of Afghanistan. Admiring the supreme position of the martyrs of the country's freedom. Comprehending that a united, indivisible Afghanistan belongs to all of its tribes and peoples. Observing the United Nations Charter as well as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And in order to strengthen national unity, safeguard independence, national sovereignty, and territorial integrity of the country. Establish an order based on the people's will and democracy. Form a civil society void of oppression, atrocity, discrimination, as well as violence. Based on rule of law, social justice, protecting integrity and human rights, and attaining people's freedoms and fundamental rights. Strengthen political, social, economic, as well as defense institutions. Attain a prosperous life and sound living environment for all inhabitants of this land. And eventually regain Afghanistan's appropriate place in the international family. Have herein approved this Constitution in accordance with the historical, cultural, and social realities as well as requirements of time through our elected representatives in the Loya Jirga, dated January 3rd, 2004, held in the city of Kabul. Chapter 1, the State. Article 1. Afghanistan shall be an Islamic Republic, independent, unitary, and indivisible state. Article 2. The sacred religion of Islam is the religion of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan. Followers of other faiths shall be free within the bounds of law in the exercise and performance of their religious rituals. Article 3. No law shall contravene the tenets and provisions of the holy religion of Islam in Afghanistan. Article 4. National sovereignty in Afghanistan shall belong to the nation, manifested directly and through its elected representatives. The nation of Afghanistan is composed of all individuals who possess the citizenship of Afghanistan. The nation of Afghanistan shall be comprised of Pashtun, Tajik, Hazara, Uzbek, Turkmen, Baluch, Pachai, Nuristani, Aimak, Arab, Kyrgyz, Kizilbash, Gujar, Brahui, and other tribes. Sorry if I mispronounced any of those. The word Afghan shall apply to every citizen of Afghanistan. No individual of the nation of Afghanistan shall be deprived of citizenship. The citizenship and asylum-related matters shall be regulated by law. Article 5. Implementing the provisions of this Constitution and other laws defending independence, national sovereignty, territorial integrity, and attaining the security and defense capability of the country shall be the fundamental duties of the state. Article 6. The state shall be obligated to create a prosperous and progressive society based on social justice, preservation of human dignity, protection of human rights, realization of democracy, attainment of national unity as well as equality between all peoples and tribes, and balanced development of all areas of the country. Article 7. The state shall observe the United Nations Charter, interstate agreements, as well as international treaties to which Afghanistan has joined, and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The state shall prevent all kinds of terrorist activities, cultivation, and smuggling of narcotics, and production and use of intoxicants. Article 8. The state shall regulate the foreign policy of the country on the basis of preserving the independence, national interest, and territorial integrity, as well as non-interference, good neighborliness, mutual respect, and equality of rights. Article 9. Mines and other subterranean resources, as well as historical relics, shall be the property of the state. Protection, management, and proper utilization of public properties, as well as natural resources, shall be regulated by law. Article 10. The state shall encourage, protect, as well as ensure the safety of capital investment and private enterprises in accordance with the provisions of the law and market economy. Article 11. Matters related to domestic as well as foreign trade shall be regulated by law in accordance with the economic requirements of the country and public interest. Article 12. The Afghanistan Bank shall be independent of the central bank of the state. Currency issuance as well as formulating and implementing the monetary policy of the country shall be, according to provisions of the law, the authority of the central bank. The central bank shall consult the Economic Committee of the House of People about printing of money. The organization and operation method of central bank shall be regulated by law. Article 13. The state shall design and implement effective programs for developing industries, expanding production, as well as protecting activities of craftsmen to raise the standard of living of the people. Article 14. The state within its financial means shall design and implement effective programs to develop agriculture and animal husbandry, improve economic, social, and living conditions of farmers, herders, and settlers, as well as the nomads' livelihood. The state shall adopt necessary measures for provision of housing and distribution of public estates to deserving citizens in accordance with the provisions of law and within financial possibilities. Article 15. The state shall be obligated to adopt necessary measures to protect and improve forests as well as the living environment. Article 16. From amongst Pashto, Dari, Uzbeki, Turkmani, Baluchi, Pashai, Nuristani, Pamiri, and other current languages in the country. Again, sorry if I mispronounce any of these. Pashto and Dari shall be the official languages of the state. In areas where the majority of the people speak in any one of Uzbeki, Turkmani, Pashai, Nuristani, Baluchi, or Pamiri languages, any of the aforementioned language, in addition to Pashto and Dari, shall be the third official language, the usage of which shall be regulated by law. The state shall design and apply effective programs to foster and develop all languages of Afghanistan. Usage of all current languages in country shall be free in press publications and mass media. Academic and national administrative terminology and usage in the country shall be preserved. Article 17. The state shall adopt necessary measures to foster education at all levels, develop religious teachings, regulate and improve the conditions of mosque, religious schools, as well as religious centers. Article 18. The source for the calendar year of the country shall be based upon the migration of the Prophet, PBUH. The basis for the state offices shall be the solar calendar. Fridays as well as the 28th of Asad and 8th of Sawr shall be public holidays. Other holidays shall be regulated by law. Article 19. The flag of Afghanistan shall be made up of 3 equal parts with black, red, and green, colors juxtaposed from left to right vertically. The width of every color shall be half of its length, and at the center of which the national insignia shall be located. The national insignia of Afghanistan shall be comprised of an emblem and a pulpit in white color, in the 2 corners of which are 2 flags, inscribed in the top middle the holy phrase, "There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet, and Allah is great." This shall be inscribed and superseded on rays of a rising sun, and in its lower part the year 1919 in the solar calendar, and the word Afghanistan, encircled on 2 sides by sheaves of wheat, shall be inscribed. The law shall regulate the use of the flag and insignia. Article 20. The national anthem of Afghanistan shall be in Pashto with the mention of God is great, as well as the names of the tribes of Afghanistan. Article 21. The capital of Afghanistan shall be the city of Kabul. Okay, so this is going to be Chapter 2. This is Fundamental Rights and Duties of Citizens. Article 22. Any kind of discrimination and distinction between citizens of Afghanistan shall be forbidden. The citizens of Afghanistan, man and woman, have equal rights and duties before the law. Article 23. Life is the gift of God as well as the natural right of human beings. No one shall be deprived of this except by legal provision. Article 24. Liberty is the natural right of human beings. This right has no limits unless affecting others' freedoms as well as the public interest, which shall be regulated by law. Liberty and human dignity are inviolable. The state shall respect and protect liberty as well as human dignity. Article 25. Innocence is the original state. The accused shall be innocent until proven guilty by the order of an authoritative court. Article 26. Crime is a personal act. Investigation, arrest, and detention of an accused as well as penalty execution shall not incriminate another person. Article 27. No deed shall be considered a crime unless ruled by a law promulgated prior to commitment of the offense. No one shall be pursued, arrested, or detained without due process of law. No one shall be punished without the decision of an authoritative court, taken in accordance with the provisions of the law promulgated prior to commitment of the offense. Article 28. No citizen of Afghanistan accused of a crime shall be extradited to a foreign state without reciprocal arrangements as well as international treaties to which Afghanistan has joined. No Afghan shall be deprived of citizenship or sentenced to domestic or foreign exile. Article 29. Persecution of human beings shall be forbidden. No one shall be allowed to or order torture, even for the discovering the truth from another individual who is under investigation, arrest, detention, or has been convicted to be punished. Punishment, contrary to human dignity, shall be prohibited. Article 30. A statement, confession, or testimony obtained from an accused or of another individual by means of compulsion shall be invalid. Confession to a crime is a voluntary admission before an authorized court by an accused in a sound state of mind. Article 31. Upon arrest or to prove truth, every individual can appoint a defense attorney. Immediately upon arrest, the accused shall have the right to be informed of the nature of the accusation and appear before the court within the time limit specified by law. In criminal cases, the state shall appoint a defense attorney for the indigent. Confidentiality of conversations, correspondence, and communications between the accused and their attorney shall be secure from any kind of violation. The duties and powers of defense attorneys shall be regulated by law. Article 32. Debt shall not curtail or deprive the freedom of the individual. The method and means of recovering debt shall be regulated by law. Article 33. The citizens of Afghanistan shall have the right to elect and be elected. The conditions of exercising this right shall be regulated by law. Article 34. Freedom of expression shall be inviolable. Every Afghan shall have the right to express thoughts through speech, writing, illustrations, as well as other means in accordance with provisions of this Constitution. Every Afghan shall have the right, according to the provisions of law, to print and publish on subjects without prior submission to state authorities. Directives related to the press, radio, and television, as well as publications and other mass media, shall be regulated by law. Article 35. To attain moral and material goals, the citizens of Afghanistan shall have the right to form associations in accordance with provisions of the law. The people of Afghanistan shall have the right, in accordance with provisions of the law, to form political parties, provided that 1. Their manifesto and charter shall not contravene the holy religion of Islam and principles and values enshrined in this Constitution. 2. Their organizations and financial resources shall be transparent. 3. They shall not have military or quasi-military aims and organizations. And 4. They shall not be affiliated with foreign political parties or other sources. Formation and operation of a party on the basis of tribalism, parochialism, language, as well as religious sectarianism shall not be permitted. A party or association formed in according to provisions of the law shall not be dissolved without legal causes in the order of an authoritative court. Article 36. The people of Afghanistan shall have the right to gather and hold unarmed demonstrations in accordance with the law for attaining legitimate and peaceful purposes. Article 37. Freedom and confidentiality of correspondence as well as communications of individuals, whether in the form of a letter or via telephone, telegraph, as well as other means, shall be secure from intrusion. The state shall not have the right to inspect personal correspondence and communications unless authorized by provisions of the law. Article 38. Personal residences shall be immune from trespassing. No one, including the state, shall have the right to enter a personal residence or search it without the owner's permission or by order of an authoritative court, except in situations and methods delineated by law. In case of an evident crime, the responsible official shall enter or search a personal residence without prior court order. The aforementioned official shall, after entrance or completion of search, obtain a court order within the time limit set by law. Article 39. Every Afghan shall have the right to travel and settle in any part of the country except in areas forbidden by law. Every Afghan shall have the right to travel outside Afghanistan and return, according to the provisions of the law. The state shall protect the rights of the citizens of Afghanistan outside of the country. Article 40. Property shall be safe from violation. No one shall be forbidden from owning property and acquiring it unless limited by the provisions of law. No one's property shall be confiscated without the order of the law and decision of an authoritative court. Acquisition of private property shall be legally permitted only for the sake of public interest, and in exchange for prior and just compensation, search and disclosure of private property shall be carried out in accordance with provisions of the law. Article 41. Foreign individuals shall not have the right to own immovable property in Afghanistan. Lease of immovable property for the purpose of capital investment shall be permitted in accordance with the provisions of the law. The sale of estates to diplomatic missions of foreign countries as well as international organizations to which Afghanistan is a member shall be allowed in accordance with the provisions of the law. Article 42. Every Afghan shall pay taxes and duties to the state in accordance with the provisions of the law. No taxes or duties shall be levied without legal representation. Tax rates and duties, as well as the method of payment, shall be determined with due respect to social justice by law. This provision shall also apply to foreign individuals and organizations. Every kind of tax, duty, as well as paid income shall be deposited to a single state account. Article 43. Education is the right of all citizens of Afghanistan, which shall be offered up to the BA level in the state educational institutes, free of charge by the state, to expand balanced education as well as to provide mandatory intermediate education throughout Afghanistan. The state shall design and implement effective programs and prepare the ground for teaching mother tongues in areas where they are spoken. Article 44. The state shall devise and implement effective programs to create and foster balanced education for women, improve education of nomads, as well as eliminate illiteracy in the country. Article 45. The state shall devise and implement a unified educational curriculum based on the tenets of the sacred religion of Islam, national culture, as well as academic principles, and develop religious subjects curricula for schools on the basis of existing Islamic sects in Afghanistan. Article 46. Establishing and administering higher, general, and specialized educational institutions shall be the duty of the state. The citizens of Afghanistan shall establish higher, general, and specialized educational, as well as literacy institutions with permission of the state. The state shall permit foreign individuals to establish higher, general, and specialized institutions in accordance with the provisions of the law. Admission terms to higher educational institutes of the state and other related matters shall be regulated by law. Article 47. The state shall devise effective programs for fostering knowledge, cultural, literature, and arts. The state shall guarantee the copyrights of authors, inventors, and discoverers, and shall encourage and protect scientific research in all fields, publicizing their results for effective use in accordance with the provisions of the law. Article 48. Work is the right of every Afghan. Working hours, paid holidays, employment and employee rights, and related matters shall be regulated by the law. Choice of occupation and craft shall be free within the bounds of law. Article 49. Forced labor shall be forbidden. Active participation in times of war, disaster, and other situations that threaten public life and comfort shall be among the national duties of every Afghan. Forced labor on children shall not be allowed. Article 50. The state shall adopt necessary measures to create a healthy administration and realize reforms in the administrative system of the country. The administration shall perform its duties with complete neutrality and in compliance with the provisions of the laws. The citizens of Afghanistan shall have the right of access to information from state departments in accordance with the provisions of the law. This right shall have no limit except when harming rights of others, as well as public security. The citizens of Afghanistan shall be recruited by the state on the basis of ability without any discrimination according to the provisions of the law. Article 51. Any individual suffering damage without due cause from the administration shall deserve compensation and shall appeal to a court for acquisition. Except in conditions stipulated by law, the state shall not, without the order of an authoritative court, claim its rights. Article 52. The state shall provide free preventative health care and treatment of diseases as well as medical facilities to all citizens in accordance with the provisions of the law. Establishment and expansion of private medical services as well as health centers shall be encouraged and protected by the state in accordance with the provisions of the law. The state shall adopt necessary measures to foster healthy physical education and development of the national as well as local sports. Article 53. The state shall adopt necessary measures to regulate medical services as well as financial aid to survivors of martyrs and missing persons, and for reintegration of the disabled and handicapped and their active participation in society as in accordance with provisions of the law. The state shall guarantee the rights of retirees and shall render necessary aid to the elderly, women without caretaker, disabled, and handicapped, as well as poor orphans, in accordance with provisions of the law. Article 54. Family is the fundamental pillar of the society and shall be protected by the state. The state shall adopt necessary measures to attain the physical and spiritual health of the family, especially of the child and mother. Upbringing of children, as well as the elimination of related traditions, contrary to the principles of the sacred religion of Islam. Article 55. Defending the country shall be the duty of all citizens of Afghanistan. Conditions for compulsory military service shall be regulated by law. Article 56. Observance of the provisions of the Constitution, obedience of laws, and respect of public order and security shall be the duty of all citizens of Afghanistan. Ignorance of the laws shall not be considered an excuse. Article 57. The state shall guarantee the rights and liberties of foreign citizens in Afghanistan in accordance with the law. These people shall be obliged to respect the law of the state of Afghanistan within the limits of the provisions of international law. Article 58. To monitor respect for human rights in Afghanistan, as well as to foster and protect it, the state shall establish the Independent Human Rights Commission of Afghanistan. Every individual shall complain to this commission about the violation of personal human rights. The commission shall refer to human rights violations of individuals to legal authorities and assist them in defense of their rights. Organization and method of operation of the commission shall be regulated by law. Article 59. No individual shall be allowed to manipulate the rights and liberties enshrined in this Constitution and act against independence, territorial integrity, sovereignty, as well as national unity. Okay, so I'm going to take a break here, and I might make this a video, and when we come back, I will be reading Chapter 3, The President. This is the Constitution of Afghanistan. And, just maybe some notes that I noticed here. I'll go back and, since it's the end of the video, why not look at it real quick. Article 52, I thought this was interesting, which, we know that healthcare is actually, universal healthcare is kind of popular around the world. Obviously, very few countries don't have universal healthcare. One of those countries not having universal healthcare, of course, is the United States. I believe Bernie Sanders, in his campaign, was saying that 40% of people in the United States don't have access to healthcare. And that's a very high number in comparison to the rest of the world, despite the United States having the highest GDP in the entire world. Article 52 says, the state shall provide free preventative health care and treatment of diseases, as well as medical facilities to all citizens in accordance with the provisions of the law. I thought that was interesting because that's universal health care, from what I can see here. Establishment and expansion of private medical services as well as health centers shall be encouraged and protected by the state in accordance with the provisions of the law. So it didn't get rid of the private sector or nothing, the medical services. The state shall adopt necessary measures to foster healthy physical education and development of the national as well as local sports. So I thought that was interesting. And then another one I thought was interesting. Okay, so Article 50. Let's see, this middle part here, I'll read this whole thing though. The state shall adopt necessary measures to create a healthy administration and realize reforms in the administrative system of the country. The administration shall perform its duties with complete neutrality and in compliance with the provisions of the laws. And this is the part I thought was interesting here. The citizens of Afghanistan shall have the right of access to information from state departments in accordance with the provisions of the law. This right shall have no limit except when harming rights of others as well as public security. So that's a FOIA, and those are that's exactly what the FOIA law is. Here in the United States, they have a Freedom of Information Act. It's Article 50. The citizens of Afghanistan shall be recruited by the state on the basis of ability without any discrimination according to the provisions of the law. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Afghanistan has a Freedom of Information Act. Okay, so which one was that? Article 52 and Article 50 were the ones I thought were interesting. So, all right, so when we get back, we'll read Chapter 3, The President. Thank y'all.